action.
Okay. Good morning. I'm Steve Mansen from Arlington, Texas. I've got a 1970 Pontiac Firebird that I brought down about 5.5 years ago. Another shop had started the restoration work, but they had to kind of go out of business. I'm very happy with what's been done to the car. My dad bought the car new, and yes, from Stupka Pontiac in Sharon, Pennsylvania, and I bought that from him in '74 when I was in college, and then came down here, transferred with General Motors a couple times, and wound up in Texas. And of course, the Ohio and Pennsylvania, Michigan weather had taken a toll on the body. So I was able to find another shell, a Texas barn find, if you will, and it was really clean. So we took the guts out of my original and put it in the new one. And the guys down here have done a great job of going through everything. The paint job was just outstanding at it, matching the original factory Coronado Gold color.
I love that.
Yeah, and Juan did a great job with that. The metallic effect was really good on it. And it's still essentially all NOS parts in the car. So like the interior is all NOS vinyl, the custom-made vinyl. It looks as good as it did, I think, when it was delivered from the showroom.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like shiny new.
Yeah, it's really good. The engine was the original 350 block, but it's stroked with a 5.25-inch crank, so it's 413 cubic inches now. And of course, everybody familiar with Pontiac knows the Rainier 4. That was probably the radical camshaft that they had. Well, the cam that's in this engine is not quite the same, but it has actually more valve open area on the cam than the Rainier 4 did. So the engine was dynoed up in Arlington at 453 horsepower.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a monster.
Yeah, at 5,600 RPM, and we were spinning it out to 6,200. So, yeah, it had no trouble breathing.
Wow, that's great.
But what was really nice was having John work on the car. When John got a hold of it, first thing he said to me was, "That's a 455, isn't it?"
Yes, sir.
I said, "No." He said, "But those heads." He recognized the cylinder heads. And then we got into what makes Pontiacs kind of special, and that is all of the V8s, except for the 265 and 301, all the V8s share the same bore centers. So you can interchange almost anything.
All Pontiac says, yep.
Heads, intake manifolds, even cranks. You can take and turn a 455 crank down to a 3-inch main drum and you stuff it in a 350 block.
Oh, wow.
So that interchangeability is great. So those heads that are on that engine are actually off of the 455. Yeah.
What, is it a standard or?
No, it's an automatic turbo 350, which I kind of prefer over the 400 because there's more flexibility on the part throttle downshift. And I like the first gear ratio a little bit better in the turbo 350.
What gears do you got?
323 rear end. It's the heavy duty posi. That came out of a 75 Trans Am.
Okay, so that's not the original.
No, it's not the original rear axle.
Okay, all right. Yeah, no, it's a beautiful car. I mean, it's to see one of those things going down the road, and it's pretty cool. How often do you drive it?
Well, hopefully in about 2 weeks.
Right. Yeah. We're just about done with it. Yeah. There's a couple of things that we're finishing up, and alignment, and a couple trim pieces, and that's about it. But you should have it in about a couple of weeks and start to enjoy it.
Yep, we'll do some trips to Arkansas with it, and then I plan on driving it to my 50th college reunion up in Michigan.
Yeah. So that car didn't come with the Flamin' Chicken?
No, it did not. No.
Was that a Delete or?
Well, it was an Esprit model.
Oh, the Esprit.
It was the Esprit model. So I left it as an Esprit, and what I did was put the TA hood on it. I was hoping to get a little bit more clearance for the intake manifold that's on the car. And as it turned out, it was a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, it was. But John got it, and a couple of other guys, we all got together, and we figured out the best route, and it works.
Yeah, it looks good.
So House of Hotrods put the hood on?
Yes,
Okay.
Did the hood and did modifications to the air cleaner.
To the shaker. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that wasn't a shaker. Yeah. The Esprit was more like a luxury.
That was the luxury version, right?
It came with a flat hood. So.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Yeah. No, there's quite a few different hoods that they originally came with, or could get with, like a 2 air grabbers or close.
That would be the formula.
The Formula, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
A shaker hood, and then there was a modified version of the Formula hood with the shaker in it too. I've seen people do.
Yes.
Yeah,
I've never seen that.
and that looks pretty cool too.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, they went through several iterations because the 70 model year was actually released in 70 and a half.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, a lot of people wanted to blame the 70 model year on a UAW strike. It was but that wasn't the case. What happened was the Chevrolet Camaro quarter panel for 70, they were having problems with the quarter panel splitting when they were stamping it. And that actually delayed the production for the 70 model year until they changed the dies for the Camaro quarter panel. And so my dad got that car actually in May of 1970. And it was released as a 70 and a half model. They have parts on that car that you won't find on a 69, and you won't even find on a 71.
Right.
They are really
Specific.
Yes.
It still has the diamond dash, correct?
Yes, if you had a Trans Am, you got that machine turned dash.
Yeah. This one has the wood grain.
Got the wood grain. Yes.
Because that's the Esprit thing.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. I remember that now. Nah, but I love it. What happens when, you obviously have driven it around before House of Hotrods, right?
Oh, yes.
And then when you pull up on I don't know, Hellcat or something, what happens?
Oh, well. I don't know about that one yet.
I don't know about a Hellcat, but I would take out most of the cars that are out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, John just drove it around in the lot a little bit, and he said he gave it a little bit. He's like, yeah, this thing. And I mean, Pontiac engine, so torque.
Yeah, I love Pontiacs. I've had I had a 98 Trans Am, and I loved it.
Yeah. Well, this is also tweaked the carburetor that's on it, and that's another little story. Haven't gone to John Lewis Institute for college.
That's cool.
One of my roommates worked at Rochester Products as his co-op program, and the deal at Rochester was if you have a GM car, you could get any replacement carburetor for your car at factory cost. So Jim had a 1979 Buick GS 455 Stage 1.
Yeah.
And he got a replacement carburetor for me for his car. So the carburetor that's on this Firebird is actually a Buick GS 455 Stage 1 Quadrajet. And a company down in Boerne, Texas, Quadrajet Power, he took it to the Stage 2 level quality on the restoration. So that the throttle tip in on the secondaries is a little bit different now, but a little bit of road tuning, and I'm sure it's going to be cranking quite well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That was another challenge for John to get that connected correctly. He complained about that a lot, but he's like, could we just put the right carburetor? That's what the customer.
Yeah, the Buick linkage on the carb is different than the Pontiac.
So what's the advantage over this one?
This is an 800 CFM Quadrajet. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there are only about 3 cars that ever got that size Quadrajet. And
Buick was always a little ahead of.
oh yes. If there was another muscle car I could own, it would be a Stage 1.
Oh yeah.
I mean, this car was the scariest fast car I was ever in. We didn't name it the roller skate because the tires were so skinny on it. But
I know all were back then.
oh yeah. Yeah, 510 foot-pounds of torque and 375 horsepower.
It would incinerate the tires.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, imagine if back then they had the access to the wider and better tires that they have now. Those cars would be so much faster.
Yeah. And he ran it to 6,000 RPM one too many times and twisted the crank out of it.
Are you gonna be taking it down the track?
Yeah, I figured at least one time I want to do some track tuning with it and get get a good time on it.
Street outlaw racing, maybe.
Well, I kind of learned my lesson on that in college.
Yeah.
Because I own a telephone pole in Flint, Michigan.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Bad?
Yeah. Oh, took it down.
Which car?
The Firebird.
Really? Yeah.
Oh, really? Sideways at 85 miles an
I
hour.
don't know what part of the car is it.
Behind the rear axle.
That, I mean, if you, that was savable then, because if you hit it in the middle, it would be the end of that.
They cut it in two pieces and welded the clip from the 71 on the back.
Wow.
Yeah, and I drove that car for another 140,000 miles, that body structure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Never had trouble with the body, but eventually down the road, I discovered that it had bent the tailstock on the transmission.
Oh, okay.
And wore out stuff in the transmission that you wouldn't
Never wear that.
you would never wear out. And they finally determined, well, nothing's wrong enough inside that.
That must be that accident.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
That's cool. See, yeah, there's a lot of history to that car.
Oh, yes. Well, that's where I learned about traction on wet roads.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what do you envision House of Hot Rods doing next, or are they finishing it up and then you're going to take it home and just put it away?
No, it's going to be a weekend driver. I didn't go, Pebbles Beach level. I wanted to.
That looks good, though. Huh?
Yeah, I wanted it to look good, like it was delivered, if possible.
Yeah.
But it's not date correct on everything, obviously.
But most people that look at it are not going to say,
They're not going to know
we're
it.
not going to know that this is different or this. I mean, they may catch something if they're like me or you.
Yeah.
Hey, that doesn't belong. But for most people, they're going to look at it and go, that is a beautiful car.
Especially nowadays.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And then when you fire it up, you're going to be like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. Oh, I see it's going on around here. I mean, every time that car is fired and we don't have somebody that's been in the shop before, like, that's that Firebird?
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, even when Mark came down here the first time, he goes, I'm not a big Trans Am guy or Firebird guy, but that car sounds really good.
Yeah.
I'm a big Trans Am guy. I mean, I love it. If you, I'll give you $5,000 for it right now.
Well, let's see.
So, hold on, I got a sound effect for that. Hold on.
Yeah. I was going to start snoring.
No, it's awesome.
I think when someone you sit inside it, and it's this can be a 70 Firebird. So yeah, so that was the goal, and I think it was achieved better than I expected. Really.
Like, when I started and the car was still just a shell, basically. I mean, painted, but it was sitting back there, and to what it is now is a major change. The car looks great.
Yeah.
I mean, it came out fantastic.
Did we do the interior?
He brought all the interior pieces. We just had them all put in.
No.
So that's about, But it's all factory stuff, so it looks
The gauges and everything, or
everything.
It's factory gauges.
There was some upgrading on that. We put in a Trans Am.
The tachometer.
Tachometer.
Yeah, the tach, right.
Yeah, little things like that.
that's so strange. Some of those cars back in the 70s, I had a Charger, 72 Charger, and it had the track pack, on it, which included the tack. But it was always strange to me that a lot of the cars didn't come with tacks. You had to always.
Well, everything back then was an option.
Yeah, that's right.
You want this, you don't want this. And
Yeah.
Now cars are just fully loaded with everything.
A Mazda has a tack.
Yeah, when my dad ordered that, he ordered the rally gauge package.
Yeah.
So it had the oil pressure and but he got the clock instead of the tack.
Yeah, that's interesting.
All right. So I went ahead and put the tack in it with the quartz replacement clock in the tack. And the funny thing was, when we dynoed that engine, it's got a little SD distributor on it. The guys at Rare Morrison did the dyno work, and they normally do Chevys and Fords up there. So this was, believe it or not, the first Pontiac they'd ever had on their dyno.
Really?
And it was hilarious. They had to cut a hole in the bell housing for the starter because it's on the other side. And then they put the distributor in, and they got all the plug wires backwards.
Oh, no.
Yeah, because it rotates the other way. So we're laughing over that. But then after about 8 pulls, the numbers weren't coming out like were expected.
Mhm.
And they've actually determined that MSD distributor, the tach feed off of it wasn't compatible with their stuff. And it was reading 500 RPM low. So we're cutting it off at 6,000. No, we're cutting it off at 6,500. And when, because it came, 388 horsepower. I said, that doesn't sound right. And the guy working he says, it's pulling harder than that. I see too many engines. So they went back through the numbers, and that's recalculated. Oh, yeah, this is 453 horsepower, and we're doing this at 5,600 RPM. The torque came to 442 at 4,300 RPM.
Wow.
So they were really, this makes a whole lot more sense on the way it's behaving when we shut it down.
Is there a stall converter on it?
2,800 RPM. Yeah. That was the cam I selected with that rear axle. I didn't want to be running over 3,000 RPM at 70 miles an hour on the highway.
Right.
So kind of did something in the middle there. And like I said, the gear ratios in the Turbo 350 with that converter, I think it'll be pretty good.
On the highway?
Yeah.
Okay. What kind of gas mileage do you think?
I'm anticipating.
80.
Oh, going 80? Probably around 18.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Really? You'll pull 18 out of that thing?
I would expect to.
Wow.
I was getting 20. I got 22 with it before.
Well, I mean, but that was what? Just regular 350, right?
Right. But with the quadrijet, you can tune those primaries to what you want them to do. And that's the beauty of that carburetor. So I'm still thinking 15 in town, 18 highway. Got my fingers
With that kind of power, that's pretty good for the that old technology.
Oh yeah. Well, it depends on what that torque converter is going to do.
Right.
And we'll have to see about.
Well, you probably won't get that right off the bat because I'd probably be in it a lot.
Yeah. Well,
For the first one.
you got to seat the rings.
Well, exactly. I mean, John's just kind of puttering it around. You're gonna get it. He's like, we're gonna drive this car the way it's supposed to be driven.
Well, for Christmas, I gave my dad a certificate and said he can have a full day with the car, and I'll start him off with a full tank of gas, but I don't know how far that's going to take him.
What about your tires?
Yeah, exactly. I never think I have to buy some extra.
Well, that's one thing. When I get the car, I've got to stop him at Discount Tire and let them record the mileage because there's a mileage warranty on those tires.
What are you running on it right now?
The Yokohama Advantage series.
And what size is it?
235/55.
Okay.
I
17, right?
Yeah, 17. Yeah. So that was another good story too. First time we put those wheels on, they're the year one rally wheel replicas for Pontiacs, and boy did that transform the appearance on the car.
Absolutely.
I think the Esprits came with hubcap.
They had hubcaps and trim rings. Yeah. Yep. But
Push those back on. Talk about a sleeper.
Well, yeah, if you can get away with putting with decent tires, that kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, so I went a little conservative on the width of these, not being sure what would fit under the front wheel wells. But from what I've been looking at, it's going to get at least 255s next time around.
You gonna bag it? Everything around here is bagged.
No, he wants to enjoy the ride.
You enjoy the ride. Yeah.
Yeah. So the suspension also. So is that all original? Has that all gone?
Well, so there's another nice thing about having been a student at GMI and having my automotive professor was a Pontiac guy. So he got me all the part numbers for all the stiffest suspension components that were ever available on Firebird. So I've got front springs for a 74 Super Duty 455. I've got rear springs for a 1975 Chevrolet Nova police car.
Really?
Yes, those are the stiffest springs you could get. The F body and X body shared subframes.
Really, yes.
Yeah. So those are police car rear loose springs. The sway bars are off of Super Duty 455 in the front, and then the W72 1978 rear sway bar. And even though they're the same diameters, the stiffness of the bar was different. The steel, yes, the steel.
crazy.
Yeah. So it rides maybe an inch higher than it should right now, but I think it's going to settle down once we put some mons on it. And it was fun. The guy who rebuilt the front end, he broke his spring compressors on the front coils. They're so stiff, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, the little story about trans was it? Yeah, it was a Trans Am. I think it was like a 81. I don't know, 78 or 81. Back in high school, going maybe 60, 70 miles an hour. And our friend at the time, he did a hard 90-degree turn, and there was zero body roll.
Yeah.
That really impressed me.
Yeah.
It was crazy, and it stuck too. I was like, okay, I like these things.
It was yeah. I participated with a Trans Am racing team in the Trans Am series.
Oh,
And
is that like a track thing?
yeah, the road course guys, and of course they're running NASCAR type chassis. But I know a couple of the suspension guys over there. What I do with them, and JC says, "Well, you bring that car down Dakota when we went down there in November." He says, "I want to drive it."
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's not an Esprit anymore.
Well, it's not an Esprit anymore.
That's just about
Solely by label. Yeah, the emblem.
Oh, that's
Esprit, right. Yeah, and Clint did a great job with the exhaust system on that. It is tucked up under the car, perfect. You don't see anything.
Nice.
And even the tailpipes, the way he hit them, where he trimmed them off, it just looks great. You don't see the exhaust system at all.
But some the later models, you got two on either side, and they look really good.
Yeah,
what design? But
Where they have the pipes coming out. Yeah. This one didn't have those in the kit. So the way he cut them, though, they're hidden.
yeah.
Which looks great. But all the sound comes out the back.
Yep.
It's pretty impressive.
Awesome. Wow. Again, I'm a big fan of Trans Am, but when I saw that your car, $5,500. Just my that's my last.
I think he's still sleeping.
It's great.
Who is this guy, Chris?
Where did he come from?
See that cash in front of you? You're yeah. So, any other little secrets, tidbits that you'd like to talk about so far? Are you completely happy with House of Hot Rods?
I was really impressed with the way they redid the front bumper. That Enduro bumper is tricky to redo and restore, and that was done perfectly. I've been really, really pleased with John. He's taken that car to heart, and it was great when I brought my dad down to hear it start up for the first time for him, and John just talked to my dad like it was still his car.
Yeah, I think that's how all the guys at HOH treat every one of the cars in there. They, car enthusiasts. So
Yeah. I think Ed did the wiring harness. If now I got the name correct. The wiring. Who does the wiring stuff?
Well, John wired some of the car too when he was working on it, and
I think Ed did the body harness because he commented how happy he was to work with an NOS harness. So everything matched the factory manual when it started.
for the most part, everything did. And then, like I said, the tach was a little bit of a challenge for him because it never had one.
Right.
And a couple other little things that gave hiccups, but I mean, in the end, it all worked out and everything works the way it should.
No, John worked through that brake problem. I couldn't believe that situation.
The line.
I'd ordered those. I won't name the company I ordered them from, but they were stainless steel brake lines. And I stopped down and checked on the car, and John's holding a broken spring. And I said, I couldn't get the brakes to pump up the right way. And split line here, replace that, another one split, and I just couldn't believe it. So he had, John went through and got all that redone.
Yeah, he came to me and he's like, this one's split, there's another one. I'm like, you know what, let's just replace them all in this point because otherwise we're just going to keep going around in circles. And that's another problem is for that 1 year off car.
Yes.
Those brake lines are
unique.
That car.
Yeah.
That was another problem we came into when we had to order another brake line. It's like, 70 and a half, different than 71, you know, and then because it's manual brakes, it's different because of that. So
Yeah.
in the end, we got it all figured out, and he got it all back together, and it works the way it should.
So they're still drum?
Drum rear, disc front, but they're not power. That car has manual brakes.
What's
So-
the steering?
Power steering.
Okay.
And I did keep the variable ratio steering gearbox on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
AC?
No S.
Yeah, you gotta have that.
Yeah, another bump in the road.
Yeah. Well,
The new compressor work with the old stuff. Yeah.
the big bump was the serpentine.
And yes. So I remember John cursing about that a lot.
So we go back to the engine buildup, and I put comp roller rocker arms on it, and the power lock nuts hit the valve covers. So I had to raise the valve covers and put the Ram Air 3 spacer on the valve covers. And Steve at the time was doing the engine install. Couldn't figure out how to get the power steering brackets back on, and that's another thing unique to 70.5. So I showed him where that was in the manual. He starts working on that, and then Chuck calls me down. Says, the air conditioning compressor doesn't fit on this anymore. I said, what do you mean? He says, valve cover's too high. We can't get this bracket on. I said, oh, jeez. Well, could he fabricate something to fit up? There wasn't enough arc left in the swing to tighten the belt. So my dad happened to come down that day with me. So Chuck comes over and he says, we'd like to put this CVF kit on. And I saw the one that just had the link rods. It wasn't the full billet cut framework. Oh, okay, $900, that's all right. And Chuck says, no, this one over here with that's a lot better. It's $1,600. Oh, jeez.
But it is.
Well, then my dad pipes in. Oh, Steve, I think that'd be a lot better.
Thanks, Dad. Yeah, thanks, Dad. I guess that's what's going on. You can leave now. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Are you chipping in?
But in the end,
Yeah, it's great. Great, absolutely. And then the fact that it came with the higher output alternator anyway, I felt good about that. Compressor is already in the kit, so. And that one did not require a reverse flow water pump.
right, exactly.
You look at the Chevy, and it's got to come with the reverse spin water pump on. So that was another plus as well.
Yeah.
So,
Ice cold blowing anytime you want.
oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Which
Yep.
John said, he goes, AC works really well.
Excellent. And those are, I'm just going off of memory, manual windows.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
What else did I?
No power door locks.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
It's a base model.
right. Yeah. As far as the interior went, the only add-ons were the rally gauges and the AC. I think that was the option was on that car.
Upgrade the stereo at all?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's factory style retro sound, so it's Bluetooth and
Yeah.
Nice. So that's the head unit. What about the speakers?
Speakers went with the 6x9s in the rear package shelf, and then it's got twins in the center position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds real good.
Well, yeah, it's not, yeah. I mean, it's better than stock,
Yeah.
but it's not like one of the craziest ones.
I'd rather hear the engine.
Yeah.
Exactly. But you're building that, you'd rather build the
I'd rather hear the engine.
I know. Yeah, and that's how I am too. Yeah.
Which is nice with that forward-facing scoop on that car.
Exactly.
And a rearward-facing scoop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a rear scoop, rear scoop.
You can't. There's no gauges or anything in that, is it? It's just open.
No, and the only ones that put gauges on that one was the turbo. That, and that was just a boost for
Right.
lights.
Yeah, the lights. Yeah,
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Okay. No, I love it. I can't wait to see the exact finished product.
You might have to take a road test on it yourself, maybe. Do a shakedown.
Chris is gonna find the car missing.
All you bring it back in piece.
I live in far north Dallas. I'll break it down.
Break it in.
Yeah. I'll try to not wrap it around.
Yeah, it's already done that once.
My buddy did the same thing in a 68 Charger, and he still has the car too. Yeah. But no, I really enjoyed speaking with you. What about Chris? Any other questions you'd like?
No. I mean, we're right at the end of it.
At the end of the journey, right?
At the end of the journey, gonna put some miles on it before we give it back to you, just to make sure there's no major issues. I mean, little stuff may come up down the road, but John's driven it a little bit of here and there, and so far so good. But we're gonna get it aligned and put some miles on it and get it back to the customer and have him enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and then I'm sure just let everybody know where it was and put it all together. That's all that we needed here.
Absolutely. And I'll make sure I can bring it back down.
Yeah, we'll bring it to our car show.
We got car shows. We just had a fantastic one this past weekend.
At Summit, we're having ours here June 8th. So you can bring it then.
Okay.
Yeah. Help.
All right.
The little burnout challenge, maybe.
Yeah, I can talk about
I can test that mileage warranty on the tires.
Well, I really appreciate you coming down. I enjoyed speaking with you. And if you have any issues, obviously call Chris. But
Absolutely.
If you want to do anything else radical or have another hot rod, you know where to come.
All right.
Awesome.
I appreciate it.
Thanks so much.